Hi everybody, James T. Clement here, coming to you with another one of my reaction and review videos. What I do here, well, first of all, a little bit about me. I've been doing narrative film now for coming up on 40 years. We just completed our latest film, which is in the SCP universe, called SCP Keter. Definitely would appreciate it if you go to our channel and check that out, give it a look. But what I do here is I try to find movies that are made by folks like myself who are outside the Hollywood mainstream. I'm finding that a lot of these people are incredibly talented. So what I do with this show, what I try to do with this show, is show a little bit of a spotlight on these artists and what they do, and maybe give some advice to them if I see something that I can add to whatever it is they're trying to do. Joining me today for this adventure is going to be Cheney, and he's going to be running the mouse for me. So let me get you in position. All right, guys, we're going to get going with this. Today's movie is called the Siren Head Movie. And it is, this is the one thing right out of the gate that I will be critical of. It's done by a group called the Inquisitive Artist Studios. And the director is listed as Inquisitive Artist. Okay, I mean, I would rather it be my name if I'm actually the director, but hey, maybe that's just me. Okay, so we're going to get into the Siren Head movie. If you don't know anything about Siren Head, he's a particularly, or at least was, a popular creepypasta. I think he still is. I don't really keep up with a lot of creepypasta stuff, but he's a pretty good character. A lot of people like him, and there's been a lot of work done for him and with him and about him, and we're going to check out one of those works right now. It's called the Siren Head Movie, and it lasts right at 11 minutes. Let's give it a go. All right, so we're seeing some creepypasta imagery here right out of the gate. I think arguably this could also be looked at as SCP art. Starting off very ominous. We got a good feeling going on, and the color palette that you have chosen here, Inquisitive Artists, is pretty cool. Pretty cool. So we're going with natural lighting here, at least in this part. Hey, you know what though? If natural lighting works, go with it. Okay. Point of view, somebody walking down the road. Nice little Dutch angle there. Those are a lot of fun, by the way, guys. Never be afraid of Dutch angles. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's basically when you take your camera and put it at a little bit of a diag, so to speak. So, all right, so we got this fella. He's minding his own business. He's walking down the road. He's doing his thing. Maybe he's on his way to the store. Who knows? But either way, it doesn't look like he's looking to cause anybody any trouble. Something tells me this poor fella's just going to get screwed over as a result of just wanting to go on a walk. Okay. All right, this shot here with him walking, that one's dragging a little bit. Inquisitive Artists, I might have shortened that a little bit. Oh yes, the ominous siren sounds. The ominous siren sounds. The only thing I know about Siren Head is that he's 40 foot tall. Kind of looks like a tree if he's not moving, and he lives in the forest, and his head is made of some sirens or horns or something, and basically he can mimic human voices or really any noise he wants to try to attract people in. The one thing about Siren Head I don't understand is, yeah, okay, sure, he can use the voice to attract them in, but the second someone walks up and sees a 40 foot tall monster with sharp teeth and the sirens for a head, I'd think the jig is up at that point, ain't it? Who would leave this there? So I understand why the line's there, but honestly, I probably wouldn't have done it. I would have just let the guy look at it strangely and focused on it a little bit more, rather than asking him who would leave it there, because that's just not necessarily a conversation people have with themselves unless it's inside their heads. So that was a little bit jarring, but whatever. Definitely is a feeling of thickness Almost like you can imagine with every step this guy takes, each step is going to get harder and harder and harder. Nah, I probably wouldn't have done digital blood there. I don't know why you would do that. Why not just dump a 5-gallon bucket of blood on the ground? Okay. What I think I would have done different here is I would have given this guy a companion. So that way we can tell a story as we're walking here. Because at this stage of the game, we're still just walking. We've been doing that since the start. At this point, there should be something happening well into it. But you could get around that if you had somebody with him having a conversation about where they're going, what they're going to do when they get there. I do think things are about to start happening here, though. We've changed the frame rate. Uh-oh. What's wrong with my boy here? Probably been walking so much, not drinking any water, he's falling out from dehydration. I don't know how he didn't see that walking up on it. Uh-oh. So that's a cool shot, with the exception of the lighting on the guy's face. Needed something there, you know. And by the way, when you're doing natural lighting and you're out in the woods, you can get away with a lot of things if you just have a white poster board with you just to reflect light around. Alright, so the chase is on. Alright. Run! You know, if you can find maybe a sewer drain to go into, you might could escape this thing. I almost said Slender Man. Siren Head is not in a hurry to catch this guy. He's giving us that Darth Vader walk. Don't stop! Alright. Should have a close-up going on right here to show this guy's stress and stuff. I definitely would have done some close-ups there for that. Definitely wouldn't want to be in this guy's position right now, though, that's for sure. Whoa, that was abrupt. Sound just kind of dropped all of a sudden there. It was a little bit jarring. Now we've gone to almost no sound whatsoever at this point. Okay, I get the point now. Bet he's going to be right behind him. Yep. Honestly, I think that I would have tried to make my Siren Head a costume that I composited it in. So somebody wearing a costume to do it. In this case, CGI was used, but, you know, CGI is really, really risky, man. I mean, unless you are just really good at CGI art, it could look fantastic and like it's right there, or it could look like obviously you just did the best you could with it. I don't understand why it's taking Siren Head so long to catch this guy. It ain't like he's got a motorcycle or anything like that. Hell, he's not even running hard. And he keeps doing stuff like this where he just sits in like falls or stairs or something like that. Dude, you deserve to get caught. You weren't doing anything. Okay. Uh-oh. It's all a dream. A dream. Or a premonition of the future. Maybe dude shouldn't go on that walk that he's been thinking about going on, yeah? Lighting, okay, so this is an example. I mean, I get where you're going with natural lighting for the majority of this. This is where you really needed to bring in something. And I honestly can't recommend enough, like Ryobi puts out a little work light that's on a tripod that collapses down to about this big and runs off power from a cord or a battery. And you don't have to worry about having power when you use these lights. They came in very handy when we were doing SCP Keter because we had some stuff in the woods that we had to shoot. We had stuff in a barn we needed to shoot, and we had no power that could go to either of those things. So these lights really came in handy. I couldn't recommend them highly enough. Here, you should have something going on, though. Something of some kind, because here the lighting jumps really, really hard. It becomes very difficult to figure out what you're seeing in some cases. You can't emote. You can't see the actor emote if you can't see their face. Like, I can't even see this guy's eyes right now. Just dude's going out because he's hearing Siren Head sirens, so now he's just gonna go outside. I mean, this guy's asking to be killed. I guess we wouldn't have horror movies though if we didn't have dumb protagonists, right? What's that? Let me go look into it. Okay, here again there needed to be some kind of external lighting brought in to supplement what you've got going on here with the natural lighting. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay, so the Siren Head movie. I feel like what we actually just saw was a scene from a movie rather than a movie in of itself. I could see this being part of a bigger production, and to me that's where this fits in, because we are dropped right into the world of this guy. We don't have a clue who he is, where he's going, what his motivations are. All that stuff is necessary information for us to relate to that character, as opposed to just having somebody, you know, randomly walking through the woods and it was all a dream the whole time anyway. So it looks like there is a part 2 to this, which I am not going to get into right now. I'm just going to stick with what I just watched for right now. Like I said, it felt like it's part of a bigger production, and now that I'm seeing a part 2, it looks like that is in fact the case. So we'll definitely do these other parts to see if we can get the story to unfold a little bit more. The one line that was in the movie was bizarre. Who would leave this here? Like, you know, the bag that was left in the road. That's not a conversation that feels natural at all to me. But the biggest problem that I see with this, and you're at the beginning, when the guy was walking through the woods, everything looked fantastic. The natural lighting was great. You can kind of tell it starts getting dark. You know, they start losing daylight as we go here, but nothing really changes. Yeah, I would say at the minimum, you need you a couple of those white poster boards that you can bounce light around if you need to. Like if you got an actor who's got his back to the sun, you can reflect some of that light back at him. And I'll also again recommend those Ryobi. I think DeWalt puts out a version too, but they're more expensive. Ryobi puts out a tripod light. It puts out, I can't remember exactly the amount of light it does put out. It's really good for close-ups in situations where you don't have power. You definitely need more lights going on here though, Inquisitive Artists. That's what I'm going to call you because that's the name you gave me. So really the only thing that I see that I would say is a problem here that you should work on for maybe part 3. I don't know if there is a part 3. There might be. Just bring in some more lights. Bring in some more lights. Don't rely so much on natural lighting, like just natural lighting. You've got to supplement that somehow, either with reflector boards or external lights or something like that. I can't really comment on the sound. The CGI, you know what? I couldn't have done a good CGI Siren Head myself. I'm not a CGI artist. I would actually recommend that if you're going to lean into the CG, find somebody who is actually a CG artist who can take over that part of it. Because unfortunately, Siren Head looks like a CGI character in this. And he is, so we all know that. But the biggest thing is, find you a CGI artist, get you some more lights going and some reflector boards, and put your name out there, man. Why aren't you putting your name out there? Inquisitive Artist. It's already hard enough to establish your name as something in this industry, and you're not even given your name. Inquisitive Artist. That's come on, man. What's your name? We need to know your name, because that's who we're going to look for your future work. We're not going to look for Inquisitive Artists. We're going to look for Bill Jones or whatever your name happens to be. So I don't know why you did that. Overall, great effort though. I can see that you guys did do a lot of visual effects planning for this. I just would get me someone who is actually a CGI artist to handle that aspect of it, because Siren Head was way too flat. I mean, he was just a black mass, really, is all he was. So that, and get you some lighting stuff going. As far as sound, like I said, the one line I heard did sound good. I will say some of your sound that you did for Siren Head's sirens and noises and stuff when the kid first starts running did kind of stab through me a little bit. It was almost like too intense, that part of it. So I would crank that down a couple of decibels as well, and maybe added a little bit of directional echo into it somehow to make it hard to tell where on screen that this is coming from. So lighting, the CG situation, and then that. So other than that, guys, go check out Inquisitive Artist's page. Maybe we can all get this guy or girl, whoever this person is, to come out of hiding and tell us their name if we all keep asking and stuff. Serious, man. Put your name out there. Inquisitive Artist. That's not a brand you're wanting to build. You want to build your name. Like I could call myself Cavalier Pictures. That would be ridiculous. So anyway, go check out Inquisitive Artist YouTube page. Give them a love, give them a like, give them a subscribe. And like I said, there are multiple parts to this, so we will pick this up again. This will be kind of a saga, this particular series here. So because I specifically said it seemed like it was intentionally part of a bigger series, and now we know it is, I'm looking forward to it. Scale 1 to 10, with 1 being anything Neil Breen, and 10 being anything, Orson Welles. I'm going to give you a 5. 4.5, 5, because there is room for improvement, and it's these things that I've mentioned to you. Now listen, serious note, I'm not saying this because I want to break you down. I want to build you up. I do see some mistakes that you're making, and after 38 years of doing this work, I just feel like it's important for me to share that knowledge with folks. So there's just a few little tidbits. As we go through the other parts, if there's more than just 2 parts, if there's a part 3, part 4, whatever, we'll go through all that. We'll see how you improve as time goes on, and I really hope that you do. So I'm looking forward to it, seeing part 2. So for right now, guys, my name is James T. Clement, and we are calling it a day on this episode, and we will catch you next time.